Hey guys, Spirit of the Law here. After the fan preview, some additional info about the Age of Empires 4 civilizations was posted on the official Age of Empires website, revealing a lot more than what could be guessed from the footage alone. They actually give a bit of a write-up on every civilization, describing their playstyles and what makes them unique. So let's check them out. Starting with the Chinese, they confirmed that one of their major strengths is going to be gunpowder, which was pretty clear from the trailer. We've seen a variety of gunpowder units already, from infantry to cavalry and the nest of bees. In one particular shot, we even get a good sense of its range and its area of effect. The write-up also mentions being able to pick a dynasty, with each one offering unique benefits for different strategies. It sounds a lot like choosing a god in Age of Mythology or a politician as you advance in Age 3. I could see this being a good way to deal with having a relatively small number of civilizations, as each dynasty could give a very different feeling late game. It says that a dynasty is triggered when China builds two landmarks from the same age, basically rewarding you for focusing a lot on construction projects, which also ties in well with the Chinese having strong fortifications and economy. Unfortunately, we don't get a lot of information about what the landmarks actually are, and either what they do or why you would build them. On the other hand, we do get a fair amount of information about the different dynasty choices. The Tang dynasty focuses on exploration, giving speed and vision bonuses for scouts. The Song dynasty focuses on population boom, giving access to the village building as well as the Chukunu. The Yuan dynasty focuses on food, giving access to the granary building and fire lancer. And finally, the Ming dynasty, it says, focuses on military, giving access to a unique pagoda building and the grenadier. Basically, it sounds like 3 out of the 4 give you a unique building and unique unit that you can play with. The way it comes across, it sounds like building lots of landmarks is a high priority for Chinese. In addition, it says that Chinese specifically can build all landmarks in each age, which implies that other civilizations are more restricted. The way I'm understanding it, not only is each landmark presumably giving its own bonus, but when you have 2 from a single age as Chinese, you then get the additional bonus effect from achieving a dynasty. Though whether you can switch dynasties mid-game or stack effects from multiple of them isn't public knowledge yet. Either way, these are hopefully pretty large maps, as it sounds like you're going to be building a lot as China. Something I didn't understand in the fan preview footage, but the website revealed is their unique unit, the Imperial Official. I speculated earlier that it might be related to trade, but instead they explain it's a unit that collects gold from your buildings, so it sounds more like a tax system. I do like how that fits in with the heavy focus on city construction and planning. Growing your city to increase your tax income, letting you then fund more construction projects, has a certain logic to it. Next up, let's take a look at the English. They're described as having unparalleled strength, so best civ confirmed. And of course it says they'll rely heavily on archers. Even the villagers appear to be archers, though it does describe them as having light fighting abilities to ward off only early rushes. Like Chinese, their defenses are emphasized as well, but this time it's their castles that get a special mention. It says their town centers, outposts, towers, and castles trigger an alarm when an enemy approaches, prompting nearby units and defensive structures to fire faster for a short period. That explains why their units in several of the shots are highlighted in yellow, as they're probably getting that stat improvement. Like the Chinese, the English sound like they focus on defenses and booming, with cheaper farms that also generate gold in the late game. So far, in fact, both civilizations we've seen have the ability to generate infinite gold in the long run, one through taxes and the other through farmers, though of course we don't know exactly how quickly that happens, and it could be a very slow trickle, like the Burgundians in Age 2 who have a similar sounding unique tech. Of course, the English have the longbowmen as a unique version of the archer as well, with longer range and access to what they're calling significant upgrades. It sounds like they're not just meant to be an archer civ though, as their men-at-arms is described as a sturdy infantry unit and is available earlier than other civilizations. It also has an extra armor upgrade available apparently as well. In previous interviews, Adam Eisgreen has described the English as the most familiar civilization for Age 2 players, and designed to be the most accessible. Everything we've seen suggests a civilization that's resilient to early raiding and jives with a defensive playstyle, which I can see being popular with beginners trying to learn the game. Next up, we have the real wildcard, which is the Mongols. We've already had a good look in the preview at their nomadic town relocation, and it's revealed they also get early access to cavalry units, as well as an interesting bonus where their outposts give nearby units extra speed. The Mongols are referred to as agile, while excelling in hit-and-run strategies, and it's easy to picture how that could all work together. Now, obviously, a nomadic town doesn't work well with the traditional Age of Empires farming mechanic, and instead, Mongols have pastures, which produce sheep as their primary food source throughout the game. Hopefully, there's a sheep equivalent of the automatic farm reseed button. The Mongols also have a unique unit called the Khan, which has the signal arrow ability that we've seen a bit of already. All they reveal is that the ability supports and strengthens the Mongol army, which is consistent with how we've seen it used so far just before battles. The Mangadai is also mentioned by name, which is of course the Mongols' unique unit in Age 2. At this point, it's safe to assume Mongols are much more of a rushing civilization, and they're described as being able to quickly build up their economy with unique buildings like the stone mining owo or the mobile gur. A gur is a traditional mining yurt, and the owo, as I've been told it's pronounced, is a Mongolian sacred stone heap used as an altar or shrine. In addition to apparently mining stone, the owo also allows the Mongol player to produce units or improve their research. From the screenshots, it looks like it's separate from your town center, but since it appears it can only be built on stone deposits and has such important functions, it may be the building that ultimately determines where you settle your town. The write-up states the Mongols' need for resources for their army can trigger dramatic battles over resources, which was my first thought as well, and map control seems especially important for a Mongol player. And finally, we come to the Delhi Sultanate. From the initial footage, it looked like the Chinese might be the most advanced civilization technologically, but it turns out Delhi is probably taking that title. The write-up describes them as being at the forefront of technological innovation with a strong focus on research and defense. Interestingly, defense has been emphasized in all of the write-ups except for the Mongols. It turns out Delhi foot soldiers will actually be able to construct defensive structures, something we've recently seen for the first time with the sergeant in Age 2 creating dungeons. Delhi also has a unique monk type of unit called a scholar, which it's revealed has a unique ability to speed up research and technology upgrades, though it doesn't reveal exactly how they do that or how significant the effect will be. Incredibly, and I want to read the exact quote so you can tell me if it sounds like there's a catch, but it says the Delhi Sultanate pursues technology upgrades at no cost, allowing them to research several upgrades for their growing civilization through their scholars. I have to admit the word several is throwing me off there, as well as whether technology upgrades is a subset of all technologies. At face value though, I'm reading it as saying that all of their technologies have zero cost. Normally, of course, there's a trade-off with every technology between its cost, how long it takes to pay off, and how much it pays off. So it'll be interesting to see how they balance that with some or all techs being free. In terms of their military, the war elephant is described as the core of their army. We never see more than a handful at once in the clips, though they do seem to be able to tank a lot of arrows, destroy buildings effectively, and deal area damage when attacked by spearmen. Apparently, they also have a separate tower war elephant with both melee and ranged attack as well. Looking through the footage, we see an example with both one archer on top and two archers. Presumably, that's the castle and Imperial Age versions. Between their foot soldiers constructing defenses, potentially free techs, plus powerful late game units, I'm curious how they're going to keep the civilization in check balance-wise. So that's all the information about the new civilizations that's been revealed so far. PC Gamer, Screen Rant, and TheVerge.com have all reported that there's going to be 8 civilizations in Age of Empires 3 at launch, so we only know half of them so far, and yet already have a good sense of how distinct they're trying to make all of them. That's going to be all for this one though. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.